We have retirement announcements, unofficial retirement speculations, quad god home decor, Alysa Liu as a Smurf, and so much more, y'all. Welcome to Figure Skating Land. This is your host, Jilly. Let's talk about what's happened in the world of figure skating in this off season for the month of June. But before then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more figure skating related content. I don't know about y'all, but I cannot get enough of the Run-Throughs lore episodes. I am hooked, and they are unsung heroes for having them uploaded like by the time I'm driving to work. Love it. I'm learning so much, and I'm just excited to see or hear the women's episodes. And I love how they're like stretching it out, like going through as much as possible. It is awesome. If you haven't heard it, I cannot recommend it enough. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So I'm going to try to follow a temporal order of events from my last off-season happenings video, but some stuff may make more sense to kind of lump together. Isabeau and Alysa did a live, I believe it was during their Stars on Ice tour, or it may have been during like their press tour. They did this really amusing live that was funny because at one point Alysa shows a photo of herself dressed up as a Smurf.
You know, I was Papa Smurf for Halloween. Can I show that? Yeah, really quick. Really quick. So good.
But what I found amusing is at one point you hear people in the background referencing how Isabeau has never pumped gas, and I believe that's because she's from New Jersey.
Yeah. Jersey girl learns how to pump gas.
And then what was really funny is on TikTok and on Instagram Live, I think it was like the next day, there is suddenly footage of Isabeau pumping gas for the first time. Go her. Alysa participated in an interview called Game Time with Boomer. And you know what's funny? Actually, the first time I swear I thought it was like with a boomer. I mean, I feel terrible, but I thought like, is this with a boomer? Like, what is this as a joke? And then like, this shows how much I really only pay attention to sports when it's figure skating and occasionally hockey. This interview was fascinating and just kind of fun to watch. Fascinating in a sense of like this guy clearly was amused by her, like in a delightful way, because he would ask her these questions that was trying to kind of get at her stress or her like drive to be like getting gold medals. And she was just essentially like, yeah, I'm really all for it for like my training. I like competitions and like, but I really like to just show off my programs. Like that's what I get out of it. And it was really funny because at one point he had said something like either we're going on break or we're coming back from break. And this is a world medalist, but you wouldn't know it or something like that. And I know what he meant because she's so chill and nonchalant. But like, if you didn't kind of like follow the whole time, you'd be like, what is this guy trying to say? He also asked some questions about kind of her safety in China when China was tracking her father. And she didn't go into like deep details about it, but she did talk about how it interfered with her skating career at that point. And it really does kind of not confirm, but just kind of give us more reason to believe that maybe the reason she was, moving around a lot during the Olympic season and what us kind of like the outsiders thought was absurd maybe had more to do with what was going on in that situation. She also talked about during that interview how her coaches right now almost kind of talked her out of doing skating again because she had been just so kind of burnt out or unhappy with skating in 2022. But then she gave them reasons to believe like, okay, yeah, she wants to go back to skating. And I am so glad that she talked them into being her coach again because their interactions are so adorable. And I'll get into that a little bit. But he also clearly did his homework and asked her fun questions about like, so you didn't know you were going to be at like the gala or exhibition at the Olympics and you didn't have a program plan. How did that go? And she explained how Olivia gave her a dress to borrow and Jean-Luc choreographed her program. So it was just kind of fun, reliving that, just hearing about that again. Another thing we learned is Alysa is studying psychology, and that made me so happy. Oh my gosh. USFS posted a vlog with Alysa when she went to St. Louis and did some press for nationals in 2026. I adored this vlog, and I feel like she needs a vlog, like her daily life, because it opens up with her shopping for clothes because she forgot or just didn't pack any clothes for the trip there. And then she just reminded me of me so much because she went and bought a t-shirt and she didn't look at the price. But what was really awesome to see is just like her coaches are so adorable with her. Like their interactions with her are so wholesome and amazing. Something that really was hilarious to me also during that vlog was they were getting ready to film something for the Nationals in 2026. And it seemed like it was either going to be a press release or just some kind of video or commercial. And then she stops and just kind of walks away to go look at security cameras because they were just down low and she was intrigued by that. That made me laugh so much. Ilia now has an encyclopedia. I almost said Wikipedia, an encyclopedia entry. Is that what they call it? I mean, I'm a millennial, so I should know what this is called. And speaking of Ilia, you can now get an Ilia candle. Ilia has either been giving us spoiler alerts to his upcoming programs or he's trolling us or both. If y'all remember last year, he trolled us all saying Bolero was going to be his program, or maybe he like alerted it a little bit to the point where like there was an actual news article that said he was going to do Bolero. Wow, I just can't keep up. So after I initially recorded this, Ilia went live on a Twitch stream and he mentioned that his Instagram hints were indeed program hints, but they're not meant for us to be able to understand or decipher them. And these new programs are number one for him out of all of his programs, and he finds them so much more fun than last year. He thinks that 50% of people will love his short and 50% will hate it. He does not have costumes ready yet. He is going to go to Lombardia. He will try to go to Prague Worlds regardless of how the Olympics will go. Also, he mentioned that Skate America just did not fall within his schedule. He still plans on going ham after the Olympics. That was funny to hear about. But also, he would like to do a quad axel with Yuzuru Hanyu. For some reason, there's a lot of controversy. I haven't actually got to read the controversy. I've only read people reacting to the controversy behind that. And he actually may start a YouTube channel with vlogging and gaming. I 100% support that. Like, I'm going to do a video soon about can figure skating be revived in America in terms of fandom. And one of my suggestions, of course, is figure skaters having as much presence as possible, either on social media or in interviews and so on. So overall, those are just some of the key points from that Twitch. Also, here's some snippets from Ilia's Ask Me Anything on Instagram. Loena Hendrickx has returned to the ice, and so has Danny O'Shea from his surgery. Gabriella Papadakis hosted on an Instagram live story. I believe it was one of those kind of like Ask Me Anything type ordeals. And she posted that she will be writing an autobiography. And what will be really interesting probably for us all to read is she's going to highlight her decision to retire from competition and what led to her making that decision. And she expects to have the first draft in by September or in September. So that's going to be exciting. I know it won't be out by then, but at least we'll know it'll be on the horizon. Mariah Bell and Brandon Fraizer announced their relationship on Instagram. That's a pairing I wouldn't have guessed. And it's just nothing to do with either of them. I just wouldn't have guessed that. And now it makes sense, but I just wouldn't have guessed it. Shoma and Marin did an ice dance number in Shoma's self-produced ice show called Ice Brave. And what's interesting is in an interview, Shoma had mentioned that ice dance was a lot harder than he thought it was because not all of the skills translated perfectly. In fact, he felt that maybe around 10 to 20%, only that much of the skills really transferred, and that there was a lot that he had to learn. And what's really neat is he put a lot of effort into it. He really wanted to challenge himself because this is, his own ice show that he was producing. And he had mentioned in an interview after their first ice dance show together that he felt that he was able to skate in a way that felt truly satisfying, and that he used to feel nervous as a competitor, and that moments where you experience kind of the level of cheers that they did and he did while skating was rare for him. And what's really neat is this was, I believe the first showing of the show. And their twizzles were really impressive. I don't know if y'all got to see it, but I was surprised. And then there was impressive lifts. It was all just really, really nice for people who are not used to ice dancing. And so I am jealous of all y'all who get to see this show. I'm hoping that it streams at some point. Like, I've only got to see like bits and pieces. Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski will be on season 4 of Traders. And I looked and they're also going to be joining like that Steven guy from Laguna Beach, which is funny. But anyway, I think this is going to be really interesting. I imagine that people may assume that Johnny is a traitor, and it would probably honestly be in his best interest to not be one of the traitors, because I feel like he is going to be just so easily fallen into that role. I was so happy to hear this because I love the traitors. I really actually maybe prefer the foreign versions of this, but this is still going to be really neat. And I really hope they don't get like voted out quickly. I do worry because sometimes people do focus on potential alliances. And I think Tara and Johnny, their friendship is going to be kind of like a red flag for people. It would actually be a really neat kind of plot to have Tara as one of the traitors. Maybe people wouldn't think that as much because people will think of her as like the ice princess that a lot of American figure skaters, especially in that time frame that she won the Olympics, are viewed as. So I'm excited. So I'll keep y'all updated about when it is being shown. Josefin announced that she is going to be skating next season, which is really exciting. Hopefully she gets her minimum so she can go to the Olympics. Our favorite Polish ray of sunshine is seeking suggestions. I don't know if she still is, but she did seek out suggestions for her short program music for the Olympic season. That is bold crowdsourcing that. She also announced that she will be skating to Up again. I don't really know how I feel about that. If she chooses to do that program, that might mean she's going to really sell it to us, but it's kind of an unforgettable program for me. Like, I just had to go back and watch it and was like, oh yeah, it was that program. Mikhail made Forbes Kazakhstan 30 under 30, which is so awesome. I hope he gets all the recognition ever. He also did an interview recently where he said he doesn't want to just focus on his jumps. He kind of wants to be seen as like the whole picture. And so that is really neat. Lindsay Thorngren has been removed from the world standings list and is no longer in a Team USA international selection pool, which feeds into some of the rumors that were kind of going around earlier that she has pretty much unofficially, maybe officially, I'm not sure, retired. It's really sad to think about her career. I thought honestly she was going to be one of the up and top women for Team USA. I predicted several years ago, I'm like, okay, she's going to be like at the Olympics. She's going to be at least one of the women that gets sent to the Olympics at some point. But then as I watched her career go on, she's been plagued by under rotations. I know she had an injury at some point. But what's really sad is it doesn't seem as if she's ever been really propped up by USFS. And I'm not quite sure why. Because yes, she does have some under rotations, but it's like they will call her rotations, but not others. It is strange to me. Like, I'm like, what happened? Like, what did she do that makes somebody so mad? Like, she's basically pretty quick into, I feel like, her senior career. Well, maybe let's say like maybe year 2 into her senior career was just kind of just not seen as someone that USFS wanted to prop up and support. I legit always thought it was going to be her and Isabeau that would be battling for fangs. This is just wild to me. She is such a beautiful skater. And so who knows if like she'll go back, but I did hear she was going to college. So, I mean, I think about her like her last nationals, which is really sad to think about that being her last competition. I hope she knows like we booed in a crowd, we were supporting her. And so I wish her luck in whatever she decides to do next. However, according to this novice skater who commented on my TikTok, she is just injured and I need to chill. So I don't know if he would know better than all of us, but that's the info I have right now. So I'm hesitant to say this name because every time I say this name, my Alexa wakes up. So I'm going to say very quick, Alexa has been practicing and showing off her triple axels, which is really cool. If she were to really hone in on her skating skills and her spins, she could be like one of the next up and coming women in USFS. As of the time you hear this video, the tickets for the summer Sizzler at the Skating Club of Boston will have already gone on sale. I went to this last year and really enjoyed it because there were a couple people who showed off their new short programs. And it was just like one of the last opportunities to see the skaters kind of chill and enjoying themselves before they get into the competition scene again. And the Skating Club of Boston is just beautiful. And I'm telling you, you could sit anywhere and the views are amazing. Like that was my first competition, was the Skate America 2022. And it spoiled me. The Summer Sizzler will be on August 14th at 7 p.m. Fingers crossed they also do another like shuttle this year to get from like hotels to the venue because that was very helpful. And Legacy on Ice, tickets have already gone on sale for that. That is going to be Labor Day weekend. And that so far, the announcements have been Johnny Weir, Isabeau, and Alysa Liu. According to Christine Brennan, the Canadian arbitrator, Carol Roberts ordered that the 6-year suspension of Nikolaj Sørensen be overturned on jurisdiction grounds. So please understand that this means it was overturned on a technicality. It does not mean that any new evidence came out based on what was reported. It literally looked like because Nikolaj was not representing Canada at the time, and because the incident happened in America, that Canada is unable to pursue this. So keep in mind that the reason that the survivor came forward was because she was concerned because he's coaching. So I don't know if this means that he's going to go back to skating with Laurence, although I would find that interesting because she just partnered up with Cizeron. Or this means now he can coach. All this is pretty concerning. And what's really concerning about this means that this is just incredibly concerning because if something can't get pursued based upon a technicality, then that makes me very concerned about the whole system. And is there a system in place in the future? Will there be a place in the future where similar situations won't just be overthrown? I'm very disheartened to hear about this, and it's quite disturbing. And Young Yu has restored her triple axel. We knew from the moment Kaori Sakamoto that was foreshadowing. Her short program is Time to Say Goodbye, and her free skate is La Vie en Rose. And so it's no surprise that soon after she announced her retirement, that she's going to retire at the age of 26. So after this Olympics, she mentioned in an article that the age 26 was an ideal time for her to retire because she could not imagine being 29 and going to the 2030 Olympics. So, y'all, this is our last season with her. Oh, no, we knew it, but it's been confirmed. Okay, y'all, since I finished this video initially, I thought, nothing else is going to happen. I can just go ahead and post this, schedule this video out. Nope. Wakaba Higuchi announced her retirement during the figure skating show Dream on Ice. She said that her goal is for the Olympics and that she felt it's just the right way to end her last season going to the Olympics on one of the spots that she earned at Worlds. This wasn't really a surprise because there were hints of it when you see that she is skating to My Way. So this is also sad. We have Kaori and Wakaba, both amazing Japanese skaters, retiring after this year. And so now we know every time we see them skate, it's their last season of them skating. Amber was featured in a Women's Health magazine, and I love the title for her. It is Meet the Queer Figure Skating Icon Who is Revolutionizing the Traditional Sport. And so this article does a really nice job of highlighting how Amber may not break the mold of what's thought of when it comes to figure skaters and how that is okay. It highlights how she is very strong, tall, and also it talks about how endearing she is. Like, she hadn't taken her ADHD meds for a few days. Girl, we've all been there. We know what happens. I feel you on that. But also talks about how she very quickly was able to do things that others her age were not able to do. She shares how when she first came out, she didn't expect to be a LGBTQ plus icon. And then suddenly she had to tell her grandma and how much she teared up when she saw pride flags. She also discusses body image issues and mentions how this has caused her in the past to miss out on opportunities because of insecurities. So she didn't want to go to Junior Worlds when she qualified because she felt like she was too big to be competing with the other girls. And it wraps it all up to talk about, though, how she has prioritized what makes her feel best and how she's been working on a healthy mindset about her body. She mentions how she is still skating for her fans, especially when and herself, of course, when it comes to thinking about the upcoming Olympics. She thinks about how like people come up to her and tell them about her being out and how it's an inspiration, how she never wants to stop, only when her body, can't take it anymore. Overall, this was a really good article. It highlighted how Amber is unique in the sport, but did it in a way that was also championing her. Amber was also interviewed on a Today show. She opened up about her recent struggles, for one, dealing with the plane crash, how the people she normally would turn to were people who were also struggling, and about her grandmother passing away, but also discussed struggles from the past, such as in 2015, she checked into a mental health facility. She noted that it was important for her to share this information because she felt at the time very alone and felt like she was the only skater who was going through this, and in realizing that other people have struggles and that is just not something that people talk about. She also talked about how embracing her sexuality has been helpful for fans and how much she appreciates this. So overall, it was a really good interview, and it was also nice to see Amber getting even more publicity. A short movie about Nina won an award at a movie festival, so that's pretty neat. Hopefully we'll get to see this. Gabby Daleman has made a comeback, and she won the short program at Broadmoor Open. She withdrew from the free skate, and some suspect she just didn't have her program ready. There's also some speculation, and I've heard a rumor that she is now training with Tammy in Colorado. There have been a slew, or a lot, sorry, I can't remember if slew is just like an Appalachian thing we say, but there's been a lot of program announcements. Some of them have been hinting that this could be their last season. All right, y'all, stay tuned for next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more figure skating related content.